guys, welcome back. Yes, back. Hello, my lovelies. Today we're back on the charts, and this is going to be a quick trading recap on today's Nasdaq trade. Honestly, it was a pretty slow day. Price really wasn't giving that much follow through, but we're going to break down how I ended up approaching this trade and see how I took it. So, initially on the daily time frame, I was looking at how this daily time frame had supported price higher in the previous price action, and I had also seen how this volume imbalance was supporting price higher. So initially my draw was to the all-time highs. That's where I anticipated for price to go back to. You can see that I had overall institutional bias was bullish and price was heavily pumping here. So I also noticed that we took out these highs, and I did think that we were going to push all the way here, but one thing is I initially thought that we were going to be bearish because we took out these lows, and I'm going to explain to you why I thought I was bearish. So moving on to the next slide, I noticed that this is the 1 hour time frame, and we took out this high, and I like how the price found support with it, as well as this volume imbalance the price had created on the daily time frame. You can see this volume imbalance here is the same volume imbalance here that price found support with, and I wrote here that notice the bodies of this higher time frame volume imbalance, the bodies were respecting it. Very clean price action, we're heading to all-time highs. That was what I was thinking. So dropping down to the 15-minute time frame, we had news at 8:30. We can see that we had that massive candle, and again initially I wanted to see price move to the upside, but before that I literally thought that we were gonna trade back to some sort of sell side liquidity before we actually get there. That is why I was a bit bearish. Initially, I was bullish, and after seeing that we had these data lows that were taken out, I actually wanted to see price push higher to now take out these lows. So essentially, I flipped my bias because I had already seen that we were failing to get through these sell side liquidity levels. We traded back into the opening range gap, consequent encroachment of the daily time frame, and we also traded back into this volume imbalance. Notice how the candles are closing above. So that is why I had to change my bias. I had to step back and see what price was actually willing to do. So this is where I wrote initially I was being bullish. I wanted to see data lows get taken out, which also created an SMT with ES, which failed. My bad on the spelling. So ES failed to take out this data lows, but NQ did. So for me, that was already screaming bullish to me. Right, NQ was interested in seeking bullish prices, seeking buy side liquidity, and that was what I saw. This was the confirmation that we traded back into the consequent encroachment of the opening range gap, and that price immediately pushed higher. So that was what I was anticipating. Initially, I also wanted to see London session liquidity and Asia session liquidity get taken out before I had actually would seek the buy side liquidity. That is exactly why I was bearish, because I wanted to see this liquidity get taken out. Dropping down into, I went back to the 1 hour time frame because this is what I wanted to highlight. We had this volume imbalance, as well as we had this balanced price range. You can see the city with this in busy here, so this creates our balanced price range, and notice how the 9:30 market open candle traded into it, and notice the body doesn't even close next to the consequent encroachment, and we push higher. So for me, that was another sign that we were actually interested in seeking buy side liquidity. Now dropping onto the 1 minute time frame, we can see that we had data lows eventually get taken out. We had this what's the word, minor type range. This was clearly accumulation, manipulation at market open, and then I wanted to position myself for distribution back to these highs. So we had these data lows get taken out. We had that one-sided movement, struck manipulation, price goes to midnight opening price, we fail to close below the midnight opening price, we trade back into the opening range with encroachment. Again, price is literally just failing to get through these levels, and I'm looking and I'm like, I have to be patient. I told myself I'm going to be patient. My first draw was actually the 3 session highs, And then later I wanted to get to the data highs that was released at 8:30. So that was when now I wanted for price to go back into the first foundation, but it was just very dragging. It was just very slow, and I managed to take off one partial here. I was at break even, and I let the rest run, but eventually when I saw that we were actually failing to get through those levels, I took every other position off here, and I got out at a little over break even. So say the market really stalled, and it never really delivered the full target, and sometimes you're just gonna have to be okay with that. Sometimes the market is gonna give you 80% of your points, and you have to be willing to walk away with that if that's what it presents for you. So I did walk away with a small win, just above break even, like I said, nothing crazy, but that's part of trading, you know. Some days the market just doesn't deliver the clean moves that we want, and it's not always going to do that. So my key takeaway for today is you need to protect your capital. I need to protect my capital rather, and take what the market gives me and move on. You know, not every trading session is going to be explosive, and that's really okay, you know. So I hope you guys like this breakdown, and I hope you share with other people. Let me know your comments and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Talk to you later. Peace and love.